All right. All right. Okay, now we're live. Now we just got. Hello. Hey. I so I started the live. So did you request me or no? I think you did. Oh, okay. Oh no, that's not okay. So I'm gonna go live again, and then just click on the live, and then when you press it, then I'll request you, cause you're on your Mud Baby account, right? Okay, so when I go live and you see it, I'm gonna see that you're watching it, and then I'll click on you, and it'll request it. You get it? All right, let's try again real quick. Or what do you? Okay. Okay, it should start. Now we just wait for her to join. There it is. Okay, now it worked.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, I was like, it's
We're
not working. I don't see her
we're doing it. We're doing
doing
it.
it. All right, it's starting. Oh my god, there's so many people joining already. I was gonna say let's wait a while, but there's so many. Okay, so
Cool.
do you mind if we just start right away? Are you ready?
Yeah, no, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Awesome. Okay, thank you everyone for joining this artist talk today. My guest is my good friend Paola Rodriguez Beltran, and you're gonna get to know a little bit about her today, art. So we'll just get started right away. Where are you from, Paola?
Hi, Brenda. Thank you for having me. I was born in Ensenada, Mexico, and then I lived there for 11 years until moving with my family to San Diego.
Mhm.
I started doing ceramics there around 2015, and in 2017, I made the decision to apply for the University of Hawaii, and I am here now.
Yay! Currently in
Yeah.
Hawaii, yes. Awesome. Thank you again for joining. I started it kind of fast, sorry. Thank you for joining. So what inspired you to create art?
Well, I think what really got me into the path of making art was that I was at a point where I really kind of needed to try a new form of outlet for just my source of expression. And so I started kind of looking into what would work out for me, and I had always been drawn to kind of like working with my hands, and ceramics was something that really kind of called out to me. Um, and it was literally love at first sight, you know. It really kind of
Yeah.
changed everything from there on, for sure.
Awesome. And so when you decided to do art as a career, did you receive support from your family and friends?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was I was definitely very lucky, and I'm very grateful. My family always supported me. I think I was also kind of just not really sure of where to move forward, and I think when they saw how comfortable I was in that, and that I was actually willing to take that step and kind of leave the life that I was living and move for school somewhere else and start something new, um, when they saw that, that I was willing to make that step forward, they were more than happy for me.
Hmm. Awesome. And so what schools did you attend before you came to UH, and what were your experiences like?
Uh, so I had a fair share of kind of moving around, kind
Mhm.
of like uncertain of what to do. At a point, I thought I was certain, but I changed my major
Yeah.
definitely a few times. I started off at Southwestern College, which is in Chula Vista, and it's a community college, and I took many credits there. And I was not really having anything too solid going on. I was just kind of looking for something. And outside of school, it's where I started doing pottery. And my mentor, he was really supportive of me kind of just like pursuing a career in it.
Hmm.
He was really great, Doug Snyder, and essentially that kind of propelled me to apply for another community college that was a little further away, but I was living in downtown San Diego at the time. So it was about a 40-minute drive, and they had a really nice studio. It was a Mesa College.
Hmm.
They just had wonderful equipment, great faculty. I had a really good experience there. That's essentially kind of where I really started taking art classes and art history, and it really just kind of captivated me. Had a little bit of a taste of what it was like to have a show in the community. Um, and yeah, ultimately, that was in 2015, 2016. And then 2017, it's when I transferred to UH Manoa.
Hmm.
And I mean, that was awesome. I mean, definitely one of the best decisions I could have made for myself.
Yeah.
Just kind of take me out of my comfort zone, take me somewhere completely unknown. I had never in my life even thought about taking a vacation here. Suddenly it's like, okay, now we're gonna do the thing, gonna move here,
Yeah.
and start this this life. Um, and it's been a very good choice. Definitely, challenges arise as in anywhere else, but ultimately my experience at UH has been pretty great. I've met amazing people. That's a fact. Definitely had a good connection with the faculty there. They were super supportive. Yeah, it's a good school. I like
Yeah.
it. Hmm.
Thank you. You kind of answered the following question, like what your experiences has been at UH, but what kind of opportunities did you have? I mean, while being in school, because you're still in school, technically, even though there's a pandemic, but what opportunities do you feel that UH has given you?
Well, throughout our stay at UH, we had several visiting artists. I was taking also glass blowing classes, and I mean the artists that would just come in were fantastic. It was really cool to connect with them and um, be inspired by them. So I really like the way that UH, the art department had a constant flow of new artists and constantly kind of like reaching out to people. Also had the opportunity to visit the homes of a few collectors, which were really interesting because
Oh,
it's normal people who have massive collection of art, from students ultimately and from local artists, and it's just kind of open your eyes to different possibilities of where your art could end up, you
mhm.
know. Um, but yeah, many opportunities for sure. But ultimately, I think making the connections and kind of like the networking that you build there is for sure very valuable.
Cool. And then you also mentioned that you got a chance to work on large scale pieces in the studio, right?
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've been very grateful for. There at UH, we have a very large kiln.
Hmm.
Um, I've been really motivated to make bigger work, and it's nice because they can accommodate some of my pieces um, for the upcoming show. Hopefully it does go down if
Yeah.
COVID permits so. I have a wall installation. It's going to be about 8 feet by 4 feet. Um, so it's made out of segments of pieces. And ultimately, I mean, some pieces are not too heavy, but some of them are about like 30 pounds, and maybe about 20 to 30 inches long.
Yeah.
Um, so I definitely would not be able to do that work home, for example. As I've told you, I have a small studio that I've been putting together.
Hmm.
Getting there,
Yeah.
getting there. I still need a kiln, so I can't really just celebrate yet. But there's no way that I could make big work like that unless it was for, the equipment that's at
Mhm.
UH. Um, so that's definitely been good.
Nice. And then I don't want to forget before I ask you the next question about exhibitions that your work has been a part of, because I think that's really awesome.
Well, just recently, the we had a show for the Craftsman exhibition.
Hmm.
They have a yearly exhibition, and um, it's definitely something that a lot of people look forward to. At the time, I was actually in California, and it was my roommate. She hits me up, and she's like, "Hey, there's an exhibition, the Hawaii craftsmanship. I think today's the last day to apply." So,
Yeah.
I did the thing. I'm very grateful for Gay Chan. I took a class with her, and she had us photograph all our work and put it into a file and have everything super organized for moments like this. So all I had to do was go on my phone, boom, boom, like update, upload the pictures, and write my statement, do the thing.
Yeah.
Very grateful. It was definitely a really cool experience to be part of that show. It just finished. I think we picked up the pieces on the 22nd. I put I actually entered four pieces. Two got in, one
Hmm.
sold.
Oh, wow.
Um, so that
Congrats.
was good. Thank you. Well, actually, congrats to all the UH students who put themselves out there and sold, because I feel like everyone, like all the UH students sold. So that is super cool. Super proud of everyone. Um, but yeah, that was a really cool experience. I also had the honor to help out with the installation
Hmm.
for that show. So that was a really cool experience. I had never done that before, but I would say it really came quite naturally. And I don't know, I got a lot of positive responses from the people there. So it was great to be able to participate in that.
Yay. I know in all the comments everybody's so happy for you. I'm glad I didn't forget to bring that up because I did not.
Oh, thank you guys. Thanks
Yeah.
everyone. I love you guys.
Yeah. So, okay, so my following question for you is what do you feel that school has prepared you for?
Um, wow. Well, honestly, quite a lot of things. I'm really grateful, really, really grateful that I made the decision to change my major. Originally, I was gonna get a bachelor in studio art,
Mhm.
but then I decided to change it to a bachelor in fine art. And the difference is that it's essentially like it adds a year and you need to take extra classes that I feel prepare you to become like an actual like an artist, unless you already know these things. But I definitely did not know these things. I mean, I learned quite a bit of things for sure, like even doing my taxes as a small business owner, independent, or also learned, putting up a website. They really kind of put, a healthy amount of pressure on you to, document all your work, get it all together, put your website up, have a card, which by the way, I will be sharing from a website, just not
Yeah.
yet. I'm working on it a little more, but so far I've been really just focusing on the Instagram page. But anyways, back to the question. Um, so yeah.
Nice. And so, what do you feel that school did not prepare you for?
Uh, I mean, definitely the pandemic.
Yeah. I was like, please say it like how you said it when we practiced. Yeah, the pandemic for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone could have really prepared us for this, I
Yeah.
mean, it was just very unforeseen. It's so I know everyone else experienced something similar, but just all these plans and expectations they have for a year, and this is gonna be great, and we're gonna do this and that, and this is gonna
Yeah.
be it, and suddenly you literally have everything just stop in their tracks, and that was kind of a bummer, but you know, just gotta move on and do
Yeah.
what you can with what you can, and if I learned anything from it, is to just kind of maybe not put all my eggs in one basket as far as
Mhm.
with expectations. And
Yeah.
anything can happen really. So I'm just glad that, healthy ultimately, and that I will be able to continue doing my work. It's just kind of on pause right now, and it's
Mhm.
just that specifically because I still do work here at home. Unfortunately, I'm not really seeing it through in the sense that I don't have the kiln yet.
Yeah.
So everything's just kind of halfway. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I feel like they did their best to prepare me. I don't think I was always super keen on paying attention, but I think they did their best for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, thank you for answering that. And if you're comfortable, do you want to talk about what was supposed to happen with BFA and then due to COVID, what ended up happening?
Um, yeah, I can definitely explain a little of what happened there.
Mhm.
Essentially, we're gonna have the show. COVID happened. Everything was up in the air. We were kind of uncertain of what to do. I know the faculty was really kind of doing everything they could to um, give us some answers
Yeah.
of something that could, potentially be an option. Or so they did give us a couple options, which was to essentially photograph uh, your unfinished work. Or there were also a lot of painters, so they were able to at least, kind of accommodate something outside of the studio. But I really needed kind of like all of the equipment. Um, so I really didn't feel comfortable with kind of photographing my work halfway through, especially
Yeah.
because it's like a full-on wall installation. Um, there's like some plants involved. I mean, it was nothing like it would have been if I would have shared it. And I really felt that, like it was like this conviction of like, okay, I did not sign up for an extra year of school
Yeah.
just to, have a half-ass show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I kind of made a decision to put that on pause and hopefully, come back spring semester. But I mean, then again, anything can happen, right?
Yeah. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, no, thank you for your honest answer. I really appreciate it because it was definitely a huge pause for a lot of BFA students, which sucks, you included. So thank you for sharing that. And with that, we can move on to talking about your art. And I know because of the signal, um, I know you said you wanted to show it at the end, but I want you to talk about any body of work you feel comfortable sharing if it's available to you.
Um, well, yeah, I definitely would love to take kind of like a short walk to the
Hmm.
back of the house. There's really bad signal reception there, so I'm I'm gonna try not to talk too much, and I'm literally just kind of gonna do like a little walkthrough,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'm gonna walk back, and then we can kind of like talk a little bit more about
Okay.
what I have going. Um, so I'm gonna now.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Field trip. Ready for the
Yeah,
field trip,
slowly but
everybody.
surely. Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing good on time, by the way, so we have like,
Cool beans. Thank you, family and friends who are here. I love y'all.
yeah, everyone's showing so much support. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it shows. Okay. I can see a little bit of it.
Okay, great. So this is
Yeah, so I can't really hear you, but I can see a little bit of it. Hmm. Oh, that's such a nice studio space. Damn this thing. Yeah. whoever's watching, yeah, just I hope you guys can see a little bit of it. She's kind of glitching on me right now, so I can only see her table. Oh no, she left. Okay, so I think she's gonna come back. I really hope she comes back. Yes, whoever's watching, you guys can check out her story and her Instagram, which I'm gonna put after the artist talk. And when I upload the video, you can definitely check out her work. So hopefully she comes back on the talk soon. Let's just, oh, there she is. Okay, let's just wait and see. I'm sorry for the signal. I know it cut off. Sorry, Paola.
Am I back? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're
No,
back.
it's totally fine. It's just as I feared,
Yeah,
literally.
it's okay. Yeah. Well, we can look at it another time. But if you want to talk about your mug, because I know the mug is by you. It's
Yeah, I mean, I think I honestly I recommend everyone to just kind of after the conversation, just go on my Instagram if you want to look at
mhm,
my art. But I think kind of the biggest thing that I want to touch on is that I really enjoy making abstract work, and I think
mhm.
that's really kind of like my heart lies for sure. But then I also really enjoy making functional work.
Yeah.
um, and I think it's really important to kind of have, for me as an artist, it's really important to kind of have a balance of, um, functional work and abstract work,
Mhm.
for several reasons. I think kind of the functional work, it kind of becomes more of just kind of like discipline of, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to make a dozen, I don't know, mugs, and they're all going to kind of look this way or that way. And then when working with, an abstract piece, there's often a little bit of room for mistake, and you're just kind of going with the flow. Well, for me personally, I just kind of go with the flow of it, and kind of stop whenever I think is right.
Mhm.
Um, but my functional work, it's something that it's really nice to kind of be able to have. It's something that everyone can use. Not everyone's into just having kind of like an abstract piece in their house, or they don't have the motivation to make that investment.
Mhm.
Um, but it's definitely something I enjoy. Um, my abstract work, is definitely very expressive.
Mhm.
I think of kind of the human emotion and at least my emotions.
Yeah.
Um, and I just really try to portray it. So I recently finished a series called Materializing Feelings and Emotions,
Mhm.
and that was a really different series that I made from anything before, really. But that was really cool to make. I shared most of the pictures on my Instagram, so you guys could definitely look at that. But that was just a really great series to be able to make, and essentially each piece kind of resembles an emotion that I experienced, or that I felt like I could um, materialize in my own
Mhm.
way.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because it really opens a lot of conversations with people, on what that is,
Mhm.
and how they personally think it looks like. And that's definitely something that's been really valuable from that series. Um, but yeah, and actually one of those pieces was the one that got accepted into the show,
Oh,
the
really?
Hawaii Craftman show.
Oh, I
Hmm.
didn't know. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, how long did that series take to complete?
Um, I would say, oh my God, yes, thank you. Oh my God, so cute. She brought this for me.
Thank you.
Oh my God, what a cutie. Um, so
Oh,
this
wow.
piece.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's like
Um,
super gnarly. It's really different from anything I've ever made, for
mhm.
sure. Um, I don't think that piece really like represent all of my art, but I do think it was a cool series that I made
Mhm.
for sure. Like I said, there was a lot of value that came with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so how long did it take to complete that whole series?
Oh, that's right. I would say about like a semester.
Mm-hmm.
So a few months, maybe about like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
I just kind of kept experimenting with them, and often I do my work in batches, so I make a
Hmm.
lot of work, and then a um, few months later, once I have like a good amount, I glaze it and then get it ready. So yeah, I think it took about that long. I think I'm fairly like a fast worker when I work. I kind of just like working on a piece really intensely, but then also just kind of getting it done and moving on to something else.
Hmm.
So I usually have like several pieces going on at the same time,
Hmm.
and I think that just kind of works best for me.
Yeah. Nice. Do you mind showing the piece again? Just like do like a little 360.
Do a little 360.
Yeah. It's so cool. I remember seeing it before in person. I think I only saw it like one time. It looks so awesome though.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Luca also brought this other piece.
Ooh. We'll save that question for later. Somebody is already asking you questions. Yay.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, let's just finish this up and then have do the questions later. Oh yeah, so are you working on any new projects?
Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely got a few things going on right now. I don't have anything completed yet. Like I
Hmm.
mentioned, I don't have my kiln, unfortunately. I order it and it gets here in 10 weeks. So I guess I got a lot of things going on. I
Yeah.
have so many backed up pieces. It's insane. I'm trying not to take commissions right now unless the person's like super comfortable with knowing that it's going to be a while until I have
Hmm.
it. Because right now I'm just like so incredibly backed up with
Yeah.
work, and I still try to stay productive and creative, but it's definitely rough when I got kind of like boxes piling up.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess I've been working mostly on just creating a lot of functional work.
Hmm.
Um, Things that kind of already are either sold
Hmm.
or you know they're easy sales, as you could say, kind of like reliable.
That's a good word. That's a very good word. Reliable. Cool. And so my following question is, how do you feel being a female artist? And I know we talked about this before, but I'm just gonna elaborate more on what I mean with that question is if you've ever felt like not supported in your art or have ever been harassed or anything that has ever happened. It can be negative or positive, but I think this is a really important question to ask, especially within this year. But
Yeah, well, as I was mentioning to you, I think I've been really lucky. I haven't experienced definitely any harassment from any faculty.
mm-hmm.
I I I I can't say, that it's the same for everyone. I've definitely heard some things, not necessarily in the UH department, that just
Mm-hmm.
kind of happen in the art world and, in the small studio settings. But in my experience, I've been treated, I think, with equal respect. And yeah, I've been definitely felt appreciated. I think if sometimes, I didn't win something or get something, it was probably because of me. I as a student at least, I
Yeah.
wasn't always like the absolute best student, but yeah, definitely felt like I haven't had any negative experiences, luckily.
Yeah. Awesome. That's good. That's good. My next question for you is how are you taking care of yourself physically and emotionally during this time?
Well, I would say definitely trying to stay active. I don't go out much, as in like social settings to eat out or things that we would normally do.
Mhm.
So, you know, try to go on walks, eat your veggies, drink a lot of water,
Yeah.
trying to spend a healthy amount of time making art.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Awesome. And do you have any plans for the future? This question you wanted me to ask you, so I love that you added an extra question, but go for it.
Um, well, things are always changing, but ideally, in short term, would be to be able to have the VFA show,
Hmm.
and then kind of a little down the road, get my kiln, which should be arrived here in 10 weeks or so. My roommate Taylor and I, we actually went in halfsies on it, so it's
Hmm.
our kiln,
Yeah.
and it'll be getting here in about 10 weeks. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could really emphasize that anymore. Um, uh, we want to offer workshops and be able to continue doing what we love. Yeah, I think that's kind of the main thing for sure.
Awesome. And then I think my last question for you before we open it up to questions, because I know there's one already, keeping an eye on it, is do you have any advice to give to artists?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think definitely uh, don't settle in any way,
Hmm.
even with your own work.
Yeah.
Um, um, with also with your surroundings, I would say always strive to have a solid community of support and people that you know um, support your work and what you're trying to do and your vision. I think that's really, really important. Being an artist is not always the easiest thing, even though
Yeah.
it kind of seems like it. You got to spend a lot of money into it for you to get something, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna like break equally. So it's kind of like a journey. You want people that are there for you when it gets a little rough.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Paola, for answering those questions. I really, really appreciate it. And also thank you for being a guest. And we're doing really good on time, so now we can open it up for questions. And I saw someone earlier. It's WRCSVT asked what emotion was that piece. I think the one that you showed earlier.
Oh, so that emotion, I would definitely categorize it as anger, just kind of going outward. And there's even kind of inside, there's kind of like, can't probably see it, but there's stuff
Oh, cool.
going on inside too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a lot of motion, just kind of like breaking through, and the texture is like super hard. Oh, sorry, that's the house is kind of
It's okay.
oh. um, and yeah, I think definitely for the series, it was really interesting because I feel like outside of that series, a lot of my work, kind of like this one,
Mm-hmm.
or like even my functional or in my other work, I try to keep it pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of like, you know, um, positive and light.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think. But with the series materializing feeling of emotions, it was like as if I was compensating for not being able to do that in, most of my
Oh,
work,
okay.
and just kind of going really hard because I mean I think I explored several emotions that are, we would categorize, I wouldn't say as negative, but they're not like bubbly emotions. Um, which they're necessary for everyone's journey, but I did obviously anger, anxiety, what else? depressed. I kind of made like a lot of different um, emotions that were definitely a little heavier. But that was, again, I think, that part of me that kind of wants to keep it 50-50,
Yeah.
not 100% kind of like positive and light, but also kind of like keep it real and give it
Mhm.
like some depth to it. Um, so yeah.
Nice. I remember seeing the anxiety piece a long time ago, but I really, really liked that one. Uh,
Hmm.
and then I think that same person also said to show your dream piece. I don't know if you have it with you though.
Um,
Oh, there's
I don't have it on me right now. I'm so
it's okay.
sorry.
It's okay. And then we have a question from Pangia Luca. Says, "What is the piece that you can't wait to create?" Thank you for that question.
Um, well, there's a few of them actually. I mean, I really want to finish the one that I'm working on, right? The one with BFA.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my gosh, here comes the dream piece actually.
Yay!
Um,
Aw,
you're
thank
the
you.
best. Thank you, Luca.
That's so
Okay,
sweet.
so
Thank you.
I'll answer that question first. Um, what was the question? Oh, the piece I can't wait to create.
Mhm.
Man, I think there's a few of them, but you know what? I'll have to show it to you when it's done.
Yay! Oh my
I'm
gosh.
not, I've never been much of someone who like shares kind of like I either share kind of when it's being done, but it's really hard for me to talk about it before I'm actually working on it. So
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry
no,
for my answer.
no, no worries. Oh my God, there's so many questions. Yeah. Um, so
Oh
Dan-
my God, you guys,
Dan-
calm down.
Danosaurus Danosaurus asked how many pieces were in the emotion series. No, keep asking questions. I like.
There were about 8 pieces, but there's a list that I found on the internet that had like a bunch of different emotions,
Mm-hmm.
happy and not so happy emotions,
Yeah.
and there was like a lot of them. There was like 150 of them, and there were some that I was looking at them like, how am I gonna materialize this?
Yeah.
So I kind of like read it over a bunch of times and kind of made the ones that I could actually kind of like visualize and put together. So I think this is gonna be like a lifelong series.
Sweet. I love it. And someone else asked, "What is your favorite emotion to make into art?" Oh, that's a good question.
um, I think my favorite emotion to make into art would be, huh? That's a good question, you guys.
That is a-
Um, well, I think definitely a kind of emotion that would, let's see, portray freedom or serenity or flowiness. Um, yeah, man, that's a really rough question, you guys.
No, think about.
I guess I don't have a favorite emotion that I like to portray because I
Mhm.
think all of them are really cool, in its own ways, whether it's the ones that I'm trying to portray in the um in this my series Materializing Feelings and Emotions, or if it's just kind of something that's more neutral. I think
Mhm.
both of them kind of give me a lot of satisfaction, and I like both of them.
Nice. And then the other question is, are there any pieces for sale?
Um, yeah, I do have some pieces for sale at the moment. System work that I have. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
think my headphones are out. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. I can hear you good. Yeah, keep going. You're
Okay,
good.
perfect. Um, yeah, I do have some existing work that's for sale. It's mostly abstract work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it would, it, I don't have it on my website right now. I do have it on my baby page though.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any abstract work that you're interested in, you can DM me,
Awesome.
about it. Hmm.
Cool. Does anybody else have any other questions? 'Cause we have so much time. I think we have like an extra five more minutes, 10 more minutes on time. So
Okay,
everybody has
awesome.
questions. I can't believe it. So cool. Yeah, we can just wait for another question. And um, I actually have one for you, Paula. How do you decide what color your pieces are gonna be?
Um, I think definitely just kind of what I'm feeling at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's kind of how most of my work goes. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I definitely do plan, and it's also kind of necessary, especially with the way glazing goes and
Mm-hmm.
firing. You can have it, change in colors and whatnot. But um, as I've experimented through them and I've been able to get more consistent results, it really just kind of depends on the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, on what I have available as well.
Yeah.
Um, but I do love working with warm and hot colors. So just kind of depends on the mood I'm in.
Cool. And then there's more questions. Yay. What's your favorite color to work with?
Well, I feel like that's a very similar question to the one I answered, but I really like the color blue. Um,
Same.
that's if we're talking about underglazes, but as far as glazing goes, I mean, um, man, I mean, they're all just so cool and special in their own ways. Some have textures, some don't. I've been really obsessing with like the black matte glaze that I've been using. That's like super nice. I just love using that on all of the functional wear that we can set up at the table and whatnot. It's just kind of like really clean and classy. It's nice.
Awesome. Oh my God. I have four questions. Oh my God. This is awesome. So this is one, how has your work evolved since you first started?
Um, well, I mean, I can answer that question in two different ways because on level of skill, I would say there's been a lot of improvement. At the beginning, especially on the wheel, and my work had a lot more weight to it, and it was
Mm-hmm.
just like beginner thrower.
Yep, same.
Yeah.
I've been there. I could feel it.
So my one of my mentors, he told me from the very beginning, from the get go, he was like, you need to make 1,000. You need to throw 1,000 vessels for you to like be able to throw like a good cylinder on the wheel. And I was like, okay, good to know. So I think I would say I'm almost there. I don't know if I'm at 1,000. I've thrown a lot though, but I mean it's 1,000 is a lot. I don't know if I'm there yet, but definitely a lot of improvement in my skill and my knowledge as far as technical ceramic goes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then on the other level, I think I just kind of my work has just kind of expanded and kind of taken a little more space up in kind of like what I was making. Um, so yeah, I think I found pretty early on what I liked making.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I definitely tried experimenting and trying different things, and that was great because it led me to kind of like build on top of the style that I was feeling. But yeah, I definitely saw a lot of change in kind of like evolution, kind of like using more colors in my work. Before I would just use kind of like the standard glazes, and I
Mm-hmm.
really tried to um, you know uh, add a little more to it, using underglazes, and um, it's been good. It's been a good process. I never thought my work would eventually end up kind of like on a wall,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the wall pieces that I've been working on, but I really like the direction that it's going.
Awesome. Okay, you have a lot of questions to answer. The next one is, are there any materials you want to work with in the future?
Um, I would love to keep working with glass,
Hmm.
like for sure. I don't see that as easy as working with ceramics. Um, but I would love to do that. Hopefully, someday I can, take more classes or I don't know, meet some people. Not a lot of glass studios here in Oahu though, like at all.
Yeah.
Uh, but but ultimately, just ceramics really. I mean, metal. I would love to get into it.
Hmm.
Again, if I had access to working with it or woodworking would be cool too. I would love to do like a mixed media pieces.
Yeah.
I've done a couple, but I didn't really pursue it too much. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping that I can at some point.
Awesome. And then there's a question here before I go to the other ones. Is can you tell us about your flow pieces?
Yeah, so I mean that just kind of like that's just kind of like my general term that I use sometimes for pretty much this pattern that you see
Hmm.
in a lot of my work. We got this.
Hmm.
We got
Oh, I
mm,
love that one. That's so cool.
yeah, this one's cool. I really like. It looks kind of like a fruit roll up. It's what it reminds. I'm serious. Kind of like the colors.
A little bit, yeah. Now that you say,
And then Luca was, I don't even, oh yeah, that's right. Luca was kind enough to bring this here,
oh
and
my gosh, thank you so much, Luca. Thank
I know
you.
she's so awesome. Um,
Oh, that one's so
yeah,
beautiful.
sold it. But yeah, this is the piece that I made recently, and it goes up on the wall, and it's fairly small compared to what I'm trying to make. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm going for.
That one's so beautiful. Thank you, Luca, for showing it or bringing it. Thank you. There's two other questions. Someone said that they wrote it the same question twice. So the other one is, do you typically hand build or do you throw most of your pieces?
Um, I I also try to kind of like keep it balanced and do a little bit of both. Um, I really love throwing. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to throw though, so I'll do some hand building, and also different pieces that I make kind of like require different things.
Mhm.
So for some of my abstract pieces, I'll even sometimes do both. For one piece, I'll throw and then I'll add on to it. Um, so yeah, there's kind of like a little bit of everything.
Awesome. And then I think, I don't know if you answered this question already, but what was the most fulfilling emotion to create? I think we kind of answered it earlier, right?
Yeah, I definitely felt like we kind of touched up on it,
Hmm.
but I think all of them. It was just kind of like really nice to be able to kind of have, like it was really cool when I had the group exhibition with other class.
Hmm.
So I presented that. I think I don't know if it was mid semester or at the end of the semester. I'm not sure. Um, I think at the end. But anyways, I had all my pieces in like different pedestals, and
Hmm.
normally you kind of like start off with your statement, and uh, I was like, you know what, guys, I'm not gonna tell you anything about my work. I want you to take a moment, kind of like take it in, and just tell me what you get from it.
Hmm.
And it was really cool how everyone was able to get their interpretation of my work, and I think that was the most fulfilling moment for me. It was having people like really be able to like connect with my work, and really be interested in it and have this conversation back and forth. I think
Hmm.
that's yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Paula. Does anybody else have any other questions? Because I think we have like 3 more minutes left. Um, if not, I think we can end it here. But I wouldn't mind if somebody asks like, a few more questions since we have some time. And I don't know if you mind showing the piece again, Paola, the one that Lucas just brought, the last
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I can definitely talk about that a little more.
Hmm.
Um, so this is a one piece, and
Hmm.
it's interesting because I actually made that specific piece like many years ago, and it took a really long time for it to get here. Originally, it was going to be something completely different, and kind of turned into this as my work kind of like kept developing. But yeah, I decided to kind of like use a combination of moss and and ceramics and this this kind of biophilic art piece that I'm creating, where I can have very organic and at the same time something that's like totally man-made put
Mhm.
together.
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I was actually gonna say, I'm like, can you touch it?
Yeah, you can totally touch it. It's soft.
It's
So and all of us moths, I actually harvested it from the forest.
really
Yeah, there's
wow.
some down here. I know, but there's so much moss. So and also when it's really windy or rainy, some of the moss gets blown over.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of picking up pieces. And I mean, this was quite a bit of time
Mhm.
collecting all this moss. And just kind of spraying it with water and keeping it alive and happy. Um, and yeah,
Nice. And so is there soil underneath? So obviously it keeps growing. Is it gonna get wetter?
so moss doesn't actually require like soil.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it can retain moisture. So for a lot of the plants that I'll be using for my wall pieces,
mhm.
I will be using this type of plants such as moss or orchids. Orchids, pretty much. What I'll be doing is I'll be creating like little pockets with the same moss, and I'll put the roots in there, and essentially there'll be enough moisture kind of there to keep it alive. And this is totally meant to be an outside piece, and I don't think it would do well in California. Um, it's totally something that has to.
Stay here. I mean,
Uh,
stay in Hawaii.
yeah, it's kind of the weather is good for
Mhm.
it. There's so much humidity, and even I still have to spray it. I would say still looking a little dry, but it's looking healthy ultimately. And this is like my experimental piece. I would never sell this. I don't think it's. I think it could be made so much better. And that's just kind of like part of the journey. It's like making and kind of like seeing what works and what doesn't work,
Mhm.
and making it better each time.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one last question, then after that, we'll probably end it 'cause I think Instagram's gonna cut us off. Um, okay, so the last question is, do you want to make any pieces that would allow you to incorporate your Hispanic culture?
That's a really good question. It's funny because I was just having this conversation with a fellow artist where, I'm like, sometimes I feel like I could have really talk about something, like really use my platform, like
Mhm.
make it, get political or,
Yeah.
kind of really dive into it. Um, and that's kind of an internal battle that I definitely experience, like a dialogue. I wouldn't say a battle. I would say it's a dialogue that
Yeah.
takes place in my mind. And ultimately, I think I would like to, but it's not exactly where my work is at right now and
Mhm.
where I'm at right now. And I try to be involved. I really do, and I like my art to be kind of like an escape. Um, and that doesn't really answer the question because you asked me about my heritage. But but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely could, but like I said, I don't think that's where my work is taking me
Mhm.
right now. I kind of really like to keep my work. I don't know, just kind of uh, creative, really creative.
Mhm.
Um, and I guess I could get creative integrating my heritage. So you know, I'll definitely. I think I'll definitely touch base in that someday. But my work just has been very experimental and just kind of different. You
Yeah.
know. and I kind of like what I got going right now.
Yeah, and I think, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paola, and thank you for everybody for asking so many good questions. I love that everybody just asked so many questions, and you have just such a good support system. And I really appreciate you saying yes to being part of the artist talk, Paola.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone who showed up and asked questions.
I know it's been so wonderful. Yeah, thank you for joining, and I'll upload it soon. And then afterwards, I'll your Instagram so everybody can check out your work as well. So thank you so much, Paola, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Brenda.
You're
Take care.
welcome. You too. Bye.
Bye.